You've got to admit, no one in their right mind would expect a Pontiac to measure up to a Ferrari in any comparison, with the possible exception of rear seat headroom. When the testing was over, though, the little GTO had done pretty well.
In those days, there wasn't an awful lot of real good timing equipment out. The car and driver timed the story with handheld stopwatches. And I'm going to be very honest with you, you don't need me to tell you that this car couldn't run 0 to 100 in 11.8 seconds, falling straight off the top of the Empire State Building. But when I saw it in print, I wasn't going to tell them, hey guys, I think that's a little too fast.
In that original car and driver test, there were two GTOs present, and both of them were Pontiacs. Car and driver explained that they had wanted to run the two cars together, but they were unable to persuade any of the lucky gentlemen who owned a Ferrari GTO to participate in their little shootout. Undaunted, they proceeded to flog the Pontiacs on the track at Daytona, and the numbers they published were astonishing. The GTO ran 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. It did 0 to 100 in 11.8. It ran the quarter mile in 13.1 seconds at 115 miles per hour. And its handling prompted the editors to state that we found that our Tempest GTO with a 348 horsepower engine to be a better car in many respects and will go around any U.S. road course faster than any Ferrari street machine. Think they were impressed? Well, there are a dozen or so quotes like this in that article which tells us they liked the car. But the one which might sum it up best is this one. Pontiac, God love him, went the hairy-chested route and came up with the best American car we have ever driven, and probably one of the 5 or 6 best cars in the world for the enthusiast driver. That about says it all. Whether you attribute it to being in the right place at the right time or the most brilliant marketing effort in Detroit history, the GTO succeeded fantastically and started Detroit on a binge of horsepower and performance that lasted over a decade. More than anything else, the GTO was a perfect blend of image and substance. It promised the young buyer the ride of a lifetime, and it made good. Today, the GTO is still making good on that promise. GTOs are favorites with car collectors and restorers, and its image as the first muscle car is as strong as ever. Just seeing one on the street brings back a flood of fond memories.
The 64 is such a unique car. It's the first GTO. And it's just, you get a different look in this car. People look at it and they just, it's like they saw a ghost or something. We wanted to build a GTO to not only replicate the car and driver test car, but we wanted to build a GTO that was probably the ultimate GTO for 1964. And we have a 421 engine in this, big car engine. It's date coded to the car, and it has a lot of Super Duty parts internally in the engine. And we created this car to come exactly like the blue car and driver car, which is missing in action now. And some say it was crushed, some say it was burned, some say it still exists. But it's a sister car to the red Royal Bobcat car. And when I saw the pictures of the plate in the magazine, I wanted to get that reproduced, and I did get it reproduced down in Florida. And it's a 1962 Michigan tag, and also I bought from a license plate dealer a 1963 corner tag. And the car is a very well-performing car, very streetable car, and our best time to date is a 1290 at 107 miles an hour, which is quite surprising for a car that looks extremely stock.
The GTO was a car for a person who liked cars and loved to drive a car to its limit. The people in charge at Pontiac Motor Division, the same people who designed and built the cars that swept the NASCAR tracks and took top eliminator at the NHRA drags, wanted to build an exciting car and put it within reach of a whole new generation of car enthusiasts. What they succeeded in doing was to create not just an exciting new car, but a whole new class of automobiles, the muscle cars. All those that came after, the Fairlane GTs, the Coronet RTs, the 442s, the Chevelle Supersports, all owe their lineage to the little GTO. In fact, the GTO set the stage for the great performance revival taking place in Detroit today. The issue is long settled, thanks to Car and Driver and John DeLorean, Jim Wangers, and probably all the midnight street racers through the years, as to whether a car from General Motors has the right to the name Gran Turismo Omologato. Over the 11-year period that Pontiac made the GTO, 1964 through 1974, over 700,000 cars rolled out of Pontiac assembly plants with those three little letters gleaming inside the left grille. That's about 695,000 more GTOs than Ferrari ever made. And that's exactly what Pontiac had in mind. GTO, Gran Turismo Omologato. We know what it means in Italian, but what it really means in English is, get turned on. Thanks for watching, and we hope you'll be with us again on the next issue of the American Muscle Car. Remember, don't crush them, restore them.